Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Janadesh, the show that brings to you the different flavors of election and serves it all in one platter. In this episode, we will dwell upon the different aspects of elections, aspects that are major components of the electoral process. First up, it is the issue of the state and the people, which the various political parties highlight in their campaigning process. The second is campaigning, which is a crucial medium to connect to the masses and try to win their votes. And lastly, it is about women and politics. All of this and more coming right up, but first let's take a look at the news bulletin. Welcome to today's news bulletin. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today pitched for a strong and decisive government at the centre. Addressing a rally at Amroha in Uttar Pradesh, he said, "A strong government can take tough and big decisions to move the country forward." He said the world is looking at India today because of decisive and strong government at the centre. In an apparent attack on the opposition, Mr. Modi said some people appear not to like it when country gives befitting reply to terrorists and Pakistan is being exposed in front of the world. He said terror organizations now know that there will be payback if they make even the slightest misstep. Election Department will have over 60 all-women polling stations in Meghalaya, known as pink polling stations. In each constituency, there will be one such colourful polling station. There are 3,167 polling stations spread across the state. Of them, 704 are vulnerable, 249 are critical, and 68 are both critical and vulnerable polling stations. 86 polling stations are along the international border with Bangladesh and 171 are along the interstate boundary with Assam. Women form a major component of the electorate in Meghalaya. There are a large number of women voters here. The women voters outnumber their male counterparts. Meghalaya Chief Electoral Officer Frederick Kharkongor on Thursday informed that an inquiry has been initiated into the alleged violation of Model Code of Conduct by Health and Family Welfare Minister Alexander Lalu Hek. Hek was accused of using official vehicle for campaigning in favour of the BJP candidate from Shillong parliamentary seat, Sanbor Shulai, in West Jaintia Hills on Wednesday. On receiving a complaint, the state CEO said that he has directed the District Election Officer (DEO) of West Jaintia Hills to inquire into the allegations and submit the report within this month. The Election Commission on Thursday said as many as 10 lakh voters were added to the electoral process across the country last week, including 4 lakh first-timers. The poll panel also said that all preparations are being made for a smooth conduct of the first and second phases of the Lok Sabha polls, in which over 2,900 candidates are in the fray. Talking to reporters, Deputy Election Commissioner Sandeep Saxena said the C-Vigil app has been a big hit and the Commission has received 40,116 complaints through it till now. The Election Commission has said that all preparations are in place for the first phase of elections on the 11th of April. It announced that 1,218 candidates are contesting elections for the first phase. As the first phase of elections are only a week away, the Election Commission is keeping strict vigil on everything and has till now seized materials worth Rs 1,618 crore. In the first leg of the 7-phased general elections 2019, a total of 91 constituencies across 20 states of India will go to polls. Well, that was the news bulletin. Moving on, we have a special story on issues and agenda of this parliamentary poll in the state.
Come elections and a host of issues take the spotlight. As political parties gear up for D-Day, they heavily rely on issues which turn into a talking point in the various political rallies they indulged, backed by the assurance and promises to fulfill it. Meghalaya is not new to it, and this parliamentary election has once again opened up a host of issues of the state which otherwise pop up only periodically. Topping the list is the Citizenship Amendment Bill, or the CAB, which has turned into an issue that the political parties are leveraging upon to gain support on one hand, while on the other to train guns at each other.
At the time of the CAB, we had a general council. I attended the general council. Our decision is this: NPP is for the people, the indigenous people of the Northeast, and when it hurts them, we are going to fight against any party, be it Congress or BJP. So we made that resolution that if the CAB is passed in the Rajya Sabha, we are going to withdraw from the NDA. It was not done, so we still remain with NDA. We did not hide. Like the Congress, what they're hiding about, the 2018 GHADC government in the Executive Committee, working together with the BJP there is okay. Now it's not okay for them.
The main concern is the insecure of the public from the CAB. And BJP has cheated the public by saying that they'll get 50 lakhs. Most of them, they have opened the account, and rather their money has been eaten away by the bank for non-maintenance of the minimum amount. And also the insecurity, they feel that they'll not be able to, to pray as usual, to eat as usual. Lots of laws has been circulated, notified by the BJP. So I think that creates fear in the minds of people that if the BJP comes back to power, they'll be more aggressive in implementing those draconian law against the Christians, against the tribals, and they want to manipulate so many other things just to make it in such a way that they can control everything from the headquarters from Nagpur.
On the issue of the CAB, because they say that there is no point of sending anybody to Delhi because they all again joined the bandwagon of the BJP for the CAB. Right. Now it is only the Congress who has opposed the CAB, and it is only the Congress who has stood firm against the CAB, and that is why now Vincent Pala is the popular choice. He also has assured that he'll take up CAB very strongly, and he'll protest and object to the implementation of the CAB when he is voted to the parliament.
See, the MDA government has taken a collective stand in this regard, that we are opposing the passing of the CAB. As a government, all the partners who are in the MDA, we have taken a decision to oppose the CAB.
Right after the CAB is the NGT ban on coal mining, which is yet another hot topic this election season in the state. All the political parties in one way or the other are assuring to lift the ban. The only difference is that a different tone is set for everyone. While the BJP is openly promising to lift the ban if voted to power, the NPP and its allies on the other hand are assuring that they are working really hard to lift the ban, and it is only a matter of time before the ban is lifted. Similarly, the Congress is also claiming that they have worked for the ban to be lifted and will work it on further if voted to power. Interstate boundary row with Assam is yet another issue that has shot into prominence with the passage of time.
It's just not the BJP. Both the BJP and the NPP, they made this kind of an issue before the polls of the MLA elections last year. Before the MLA elections, they said, if we are voted to power, we will lift the coal ban. Right. On that basis, since majority of the people are economically dependent on coal mining, so the people thought ki maybe this is the parties that who can help us, and that's how they voted many of them to power. Now, going after that 1 year of the assembly elections is over, now you could see the coal is still banned. The coal banning is not yet to be lifted. Now, if, as you say, that if the BJP candidate is again banging on that same issue of lifting the ban after he is voted to victory, or if BJP is voted to power back in Delhi, I think it is to be watched first, because we cannot rely on them any longer, because they speak so much about it that they cannot do anything.
See, we have to understand one thing, that we are representing a small state Meghalaya is a small state, so we really need to understand the problems of these small states. Meghalaya is not an income generating state, and we need to address the issues of development in the entire state of Meghalaya. That is number one. And we also need to address the issues regarding the protection and safeguarding the interests of the indigenous people of the state of Meghalaya. And there are also other issues regarding when we talk about the boundary issues, when we talk about the issues of the farmers, the issues of the unemployed youths in the state of Meghalaya, and many other issues that have emanated in the state from time to time. And these are some of the issues that I would like to take up.
It may be mentioned that be it a political rally or campaigning of the Congress, BJP, MDA candidate or an independent candidate, be sure these issues will be featured. However, issues that are basic yet important like good health care facilities, unemployment, infrastructural development, education are only finding a mention once in a while. We spoke to citizens from cross-section of the society and this is what they have to say.
The issue is mainly they're going to raise CAB. CAB is going to, because it's a very sentimental and emotional issue for the common man. So definitely CAB will figure very much. What are they going to do about CAB? Will they oppose it? Will they support it? Will they abstain? Will they be able to dissuade the BJP? If the BJP comes into power in the center, will they be able to dissuade the BJP to do away with the CAB? Now these are issues that are going to be discussed and which will have an impact. Secondly, will be the border problem with Assam. Will you be able to solve this problem? I doubt really, but it's going to be an issue for these elections. Then the coal mining issue, whether we'll resume coal mining, whether the NGT ban will stay. A lot of promises will be made by one and all, but it depends on how the people take it.
We have a different type of issues. In Garo Hills, the issues are CAB, then you have NRC, which is also playing a very important role. Now coming back to coal mining, which this issue will affect both the Garo Hills and the Khasi Hills. Now, based on the elections, prior state elections, then the MDC's elections, where the BJP had promised that they will lift the ban and things, but things did not work out in that way.
The kind of leader I'm looking for is that he will create more employment opportunities, more development, at least the people will benefit, both the educated and the uneducated. But there's something that our representatives or successive governments has not been doing, is that they have not done the required number of reforms.
Issues have been highlighted, promises and assurances made, aspirations flagged. Now it remains to be seen whether the issues is addressed post results or will it just lie dormant until the next elections. Bureau Report, DD News, Shillong.
Well, viewers, those were the issues raised by the various political parties and individuals alike this election. We have yet another report for you that talks about the most colourful and enthusiastic part of the electioneering process, campaigning. Let's take a look.
As synonymous as clouds are to Meghalaya, campaigning is to elections, and with the parliamentary poll date approaching closer, heightened campaigning by various political parties is on in the state. From Tura in South Garo Hills to Smith in East Khasi Hills, the atmosphere is abuzz with political activity. So much so is the election fever that NPP National President and Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma has resorted to chopper campaign to drum up support for former Union Minister and NPP candidate for Tura Lok Sabha seat, Agatha Sangma. Talking to DD News, the Chief Minister informed that campaigning have been intensified and they are trying to reach out to as much people as possible falling under the Tura parliamentary constituency.
Campaigning is going good and we are hoping for the best. We are fighting very aggressively even as a party in all different parts of Northeast, and I'll be going back now to Tura. Tura is going on in full swing. We hope that we will come victorious there, and we're hopeful that even in Shillong seat also will come up victorious. Tura, as I said, we will win the election for sure, but I've always maintained and I've always been very careful when it comes to any election that there is no question of being overconfident. There's no question of underestimating your opposition. So therefore, we're working hard, and I'm sure that we'll win the election.
Likewise, other political parties like the Congress have also intensified their campaign, and political rallies at various locations have become a common sight. Top Congress leaders from the state are making a beeline at Tura to campaign for the leader of the Congress Legislative Party and MP candidate Dr. Mukul Sangma.
Tura, we are doing very well. Day by day, we are seeing Dr. Mukul Sangma inching towards victory, and he is really doing well, and people are following. Many, both the non-Congress parties are also following Dr. Mukul Sangma, and I'm sure he will come out victorious from Tura.
Meanwhile, campaigning for the Shillong parliamentary seat have also picked up pace as candidates rush to get to places to campaign first. A scene less witnessed but which clearly describes the rush and the enthusiasm was that of Smith in East Khasi Hills. 2 platforms were made at the same venue, from where independent candidate THS Boni, Congress candidate Vincent Pala and MDA common candidate Dr. Jemino Mautho addressed the gathering in turns. BJP candidate Sanbo Shulai was also seen visiting various places falling under the Shillong parliamentary seat as part of his campaigning process.
I think compared to what they have canvassed everywhere, that I have not done anything. With the information from the internet, with the informations, I think I've done fair well compared to other MPs in terms of participation in the government, in terms of my attendance in parliament, in terms of reaching to the public, traveling all over my constituency, listen to them, work together with them, and without any partiality and without any revenge to any of my opponent. You've seen Pastor was against me for the last 2 terms, but now he has come with me. So I think that itself people think that I should be re-elected another 1 more time.
We have been moving very fast also, and as you're aware, 36 constituency to cover is not that easy, but we have been campaigning extensively in many of the areas, and especially in the rural areas, and the support that we are getting from the people is quite overwhelming this time, and I'm very definite that we are going to emerge victorious this time.
As campaigning in the state reaches its crescendo clearly, announcing that the day of reckoning is near, the fate of the candidates hang in balance, and it remains to be seen how fruitful will the campaigning process turn out to be for the candidates. Bureau Report, DD News, Shillong.
That certainly gave you a feel of the different colour of the campaigning process for the Lok Sabha polls in Meghalaya. And trust me, this colour and enthusiasm is only going to get louder as the poll date approaches closer. Moving on, we have yet another important topic for you, which talks about women and politics in Meghalaya.
Meghalaya may be the only matrilineal society across the northeastern region, but the state has seen a few women representatives in the political arena. It is evident from the fact that in the existing 10th Legislative Assembly, only a handful of women legislators are there. Moreover, in the ensuing Lok Sabha elections, where 9 candidates are in the fray for the 2 parliamentary seats, that is Shillong and Tura, only 1 woman is contesting the election. Daughter of Meghalaya's political stalwart late P.A. Sangma, Agatha K. Sangma, a former union minister of the then UPA government, is the only woman candidate contesting for the Lok Sabha seat from the Tura parliamentary constituency. The evidence that women participation in politics are very less compared to the other sister states of the Northeast is surprising when the state is a matrilineal society where lineage and inheritance are traced from a woman. Former legislator Manas Chaudhary is of the opinion that in the Khasi community, women have been indoors and they have managed their homes and have never taken part in the Dorbar affairs, and so they have played the second field.
Meghalaya has never had the opportunity of sending a female woman to parliament. Although we have sent one woman to Rajya Sabha, that's a different matter. But in a general election, no, we have not been able to send. If you want me to say why, perhaps the reason is that in the Khasi community, traditionally women have been indoors and they have managed their homes. They have never taken part in the Darbar affairs, in the public matters, and therefore women have played second fiddle. In the recent years, while the trend is slightly on the upward trend, there are more women faces in the elections, although the percentage of success is very low. I think the trend is on the upswing. But to me, to get a woman candidate to represent Meghalaya at the Shillong seat in Parliament, I think we'll have to wait for a little while. Because I don't think we have a candidate who has got that kind of popularity, or a party in Meghalaya which has an all-pervasive role in the state, which can set up a woman and make her win. I don't think we are still ready for that. It will take a little while.
Editor of the Shillong Times, Patricia Mukim, says that women in the state have a lot of social burdens and family burden to carry. She said that those handfuls of women politicians come from powerful families, but for ordinary women, there is no chance, adding that political parties do not even give the required percentage which they have been speaking about.
This question comes all the time. Why are there so few women participating in active politics? On the contrary, you have a lot of women volunteers in political parties. In fact, all political parties, including the candidates themselves, rely a lot on women. But when it comes to giving tickets, political parties shy away from giving tickets to women. Because all political parties look at winnability, and winnability means that you have to have money, enough money, because let's face it, today elections is about having money. B, there's a lot of muscle power which women generally don't want to indulge in, and then the third point is that Meghalaya may be a matrilineal society, but that is a cultural thing, that is a social thing. It is not linked automatically to political empowerment. When you look at the women here, they are not politically empowered because they can't even take part in elections in the Dorbar Shnong, which is the local traditional institution. We cannot contest for the post of headman because headman is called Rangba Ashnong. Rangba Ashnong means a man. So it means essentially that there is no space for women even in the local traditional institutions where we can at least have some training on politics and political participation and decision making. So when you look at all these issues, in fact, because we are a matrilineal society, I think we've taken it for granted, everybody has taken it for granted that we are also politically empowered. So even we women ourselves don't realize that we are not empowered actually, and that we should strive for better political empowerment. Now the thing is that political parties all speak about women empowerment and all, but really they will not even pass the bill to give 33% reservation for women. Forget about 50% as is happening in the panchayats, which is why I think the panchayats are much better for the empowerment of women. But here, people are resisting the Panchayati Raj.
Meanwhile, former cabinet minister and women legislator Ampreen Lingdor said that politics in Meghalaya is usually managed by women and no male candidate here in Meghalaya can win the elections without women actively participating in the elections. She, however, lamented that women are not front-runners in politics as they are associated with many tasks and it becomes difficult for women to do multitasking.
See, it has become such because traditionally women are not the forerunners in political matters. And it is very difficult for a woman to leave everything and get into active politics. Women are associated with family affairs. Women are associated with rearing of children, making sure that there's food in the kitchen. So it becomes very difficult for women to multitask. In my experience, in the 4 elections that I have won, it was a big challenge because I also was a mom. I was also a wife. I was also, a mother. So it becomes very difficult for most women to manage all of these different activities and encompass them into one. Very strangely, politics in Meghalaya is usually managed by women. There is no male candidate across the state who can win an election without women actively participating in their elections. It's a very strange observation that I'm making. Most of the volunteers, most of the booth workers, most of, all of the requirements for the political success of any man is usually supported by women. But it is a very strange thing. It is not true that women, that politics surrounds the finances and money. It's not true. It's just that most women are not willing to sacrifice on being mothers, sacrifice on being good wives, sacrifice on being good homemakers. That is why they are hesitant, and that is why there is this appearance that very few women actually make it in politics.
It may be noted that the right to participation of women in active politics is not only provided by the Indian Constitution but also recognized by international communities across different countries of the world. Bureau Report, DD News, Shillong.
Well, viewers, that's all we have in this episode of Janadesh. We will bring to you more on the parliamentary polls in our later episodes. Till then, keep watching DD News, Shillong for news, views and analysis on the Lok Sabha poll.